All right, we do want to bring in Michael Allen now, former State Department in the George W. Bush administration. He was in, and now he's the managing director of Beacon Global Strategies. Michael, thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today saying that he is going to move ahead with a ground invasion of Rafah. This despite President Biden calling this a red line for him just hours earlier. Is this a major moment of division between the president and Netanyahu? What do you make of this?
I think it is. I was a little bit surprised that President Biden described apparently the ground incursion that Netanyahu has said that they have to do to defeat Hamas. I'm surprised that he described that as a red line. I agree with the president that the United States and others need to do a better job of being able to work with Israel and get additional assistance to the Palestinian people, maybe over additional land corridors in the north. But we all know that it's an objective of the Netanyahu government, not just the far right part of that government, to be able to go and finish the job against Hamas in the south. So I think we've always known this was coming. I think it's the president trying to urge Netanyahu to be careful.
You know, Biden, importantly, also saying in this interview that he will not stop arming Israel pretty much no matter what. So what is this red line of Biden's? What is the consequence if Netanyahu invades Rafah?
You know, the thing that I believe that the Israelis fear the most is if there was a complete schism between the United States and Israel. But I don't think that's in the offing. President Biden is clearly annoyed at Benjamin Netanyahu. I think the papers are filled with administration officials that are saying on background that they don't believe President Netanyahu respects what our president Biden is saying in negotiations. But really where we are now is that the ceasefire, humanitarian ceasefire negotiations that have been going on for weeks collapsed officially last Thursday, Friday of last week. Had they gone forward, had Hamas not rejected the terms that were on the table, I think we'd be here as Ramadan begins, seeing additional aid and assistance go through for an extended period of time. So I think President Biden also has to look at what role did Hamas play in ensuring that there was no temporary ceasefire agreement, the one that blew up last week.
Okay, and finally, you know, in the State of the Union, we hear Biden saying that the only path forward is a two-state solution. Netanyahu does not want this. So how do we get there? Do you see any path at this time?
Not in the short or medium term, to be honest with you. What I hear from Israelis is that it's not just Benjamin Netanyahu who is against a two-state solution at this time. You know, Benny Gantz, he came to visit Washington last week. He's one of the coalition members of Netanyahu's government. He came to town, to Washington, and said, it's not just Bibi, it's me also. There are 4 battalions of Hamas that are still in the southern part of Gaza. We have to get through to them. We can't get 80% of the way there and then just give up. So I think we've got some fighting to see. I think the Israeli population is not quite ready for a two-state solution, which some would argue would be a reward to Hamas for October 7th.
We appreciate it, Michael Allen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.